All right, how is everybody doing here? So, apparently, when I'm streaming through StreamYard, it's having problems streaming directly to Twitter. So, if you could bear with me here for a second, there's supposedly some kind of instructions for me to get the live on Twitter as well. Let me see. Let me see. Um, yeah, I'll have to figure this out. What they're telling us to do. It used to just automatically go to Twitter, and now it's just not doing it at all. Click the share button and post and select post this. So I'll have to look at this at another time. I was hoping to just be able to do this now. And it's weird. It's saying I'm live. It's actually showing me live right here. And then there we are. Okay. But it's not giving a regular. That's interesting. It doesn't give a regular post. So let me see something. Let me see if I copy and paste this and post it in my Twitter, if that makes a difference. Let me see. Let's see what happens. And there it is. Okay, so that's how you do it. It's weird. It's not showing up as a regular post, so I have to go ahead and do it on my own. Okay. Appreciate you guys having patience for me there. Sorry about that. All right, how are we doing on this fine Thursday morning, because it was garbage day? Now I'm here. I know the U.S. women's and Canada. I know the women's play for the gold today. Unfortunately, I won't. I have to run in because I have a doctor's appointment that I had to make while I was on vacation. Because let's just say my heart did some things that it probably shouldn't be doing, so I need to go see my cardiologist today. Today. No, I can't put this one off, but we'll be here tomorrow streaming both games. We're going to do both, much to Kyle's chagrin. But in terms of the women's, I won't be able to do it today because as soon as I'm done here with you, I am out the door to the doctors. Hey, scientists, are still recovering from yesterday's game. Yeah, well, 3 of them went to overtime, right? Finnish coach said he's going to go to Barkov for advice on slowing McDavid down. Hey, Real, how you doing, bud? Um, Man, you know what? Real, I wasn't here. I was in Florida during all that. I didn't see any of it. I did not see any of it, unfortunately. Hey, David. Simon, how you doing, buddy? Who to what I think will be some surprises. I tell you what, Simon, I wonder how bad Crosby is hurt and if that's going to cause an issue for the Penguins. Mad Dining, how we doing? Good to see everybody. Kenneth says, we got the expected Final Four we expected, except for Finland, USA, Canada did it in panic-inducing roundabout way. Right? Right? Like Canada can't even make fun of the U.S. for having to go to overtime to beat Sweden because they were 3.5 minutes away from being home playing hopscotch. Hey, fun fish. Craig, yeah, no doubt. Yeah, yeah. David, yep, nope. Great White says that's because you have to post and note it on YouTube. Yeah, they changed it while I was gone, so but it looks like it's back on. It looks like it's on Twitter now, so we're good. It's all good. Is what it is. I just wanted to make sure I had it up by the time we were doing Canada and the United States in the gold medal round, obviously. All right, let's see. There could be some upsets tomorrow for sure. Yeah, exactly, Shine. So I see your USA boys decided to play like the Panthers and try to hold a 1-goal lead late. It was a bit much, right? You can only hold that 1-goal lead for so long, and then it starts to get dangerous. I know a lot of people were kind of disappointed that Olympic overtime was 3-on-3. I kind of agree. Now I'm going to assume the medal rounds are not 3-on-3 overtime. Does anybody know the answer to that? Funfish says, don't underestimate Slovakia and Finland. Absolutely. Yeah, the Finns match up well against Canada for sure. Can you imagine if we get a USA Canada bronze medal game? Oh, that would be wild. There are 3-on-3 for a wait. So overtime in the medal rounds is still 3-on-3 for a whole period. Man, you'd like to see the medal rounds be normal hockey, right? That's a shame. So yeah, that's a shame. Simon, I only saw the US one. I've been sleeping a lot. I haven't. I'm not going to try to pretend. I've been sleeping a lot. Yeah, the trip was the trip was a. I had to do it, but it wasn't good for my health. So I haven't been doing much, other than if I'm streaming here with you guys, or I've been resting a lot. Yeah, none of the 3-on-3 came even. I don't even think any of them lasted 5. Like the Canada one, like Canada had a chance, Czech had a chance, and then Canada scored. Like it was done. It was done. Bennington did make a really good save though before Marner scored, so I give him credit for that. I had a pill out that I needed to take. Did I take it? That's weird. There it is. Hold on a second. So I don't die on camera. Okay. If you guys notice this year during the recaps, if you notice, especially in the post games where I get going a lot, that I have a tendency to need to fight off yawning. I'm not tired. My body's not getting enough oxygen. So I got some issues going on. That's what all that yawning is about. That's why I'm always fighting off the yawns at the end of the recaps, because the more I go, I start not having enough oxygen. So time to go to the doctor. I mean, I know what the issues are, but I guess they've gotten worse, which is what it is. Simon, the family time went well. The family time went well. Can't complain about that. Sleep apnea. I mean, maybe we've looked at that. You know, I don't wake up with the headaches though anymore. It's more about when I get moving too much, and it's hereditary. It's kind of expected. You know what I mean? Maybe the line probably pushed this about 10 years earlier than it would have hit me. So, but it's manageable. Holy crap! Thank you, Great. Holy crap! Thank you, Great White. Damn, I take the glasses off for that too. Holy crap, brother! Thank you, man. Jeez, man. He says us Sharks have to stick together and stay healthy. Amen. I appreciate that, man. I didn't even shave my head today. Didn't even shave. Damn. Thank you, Great White. Yeah, man. Legend Shark. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Man, I appreciate that, brother. That's a big help. That's a big help. Genuinely, is yeah, for sure. Um, yeah, fun fish. Hard to believe the NHL starts back up in less than a week. I do have some videos coming out. I thought I was going to be doing more when I came back. Um, but I do have some things that I'm going to have out before we get back. It's been so hectic. Like, I don't know. I know I heard that Bennett was out because of injury. That's what I heard. And then Mike, I guess he corrected me in one of the videos in the live stream yesterday. I guess Bennett wasn't out because of injury. I had read that somewhere, which is what I thought had happened because I was gone. So I was just reading up. Craig, you noticed a big difference after the BiPAP? Yeah, Donna's got a CPAP too. She got herself a CPAP just last month, actually. Simon says, my opinion, when the NHL gets back to what I think the Panthers are going to do, in my opinion, in the second half, I'm waiting 5 games. I'm waiting 5 games. That's where my line is. We start off, we've got 5 games against teams that we're chasing. If you don't at least go 4-1 in those 5 games, preferably 4-0-1 at the worst, if not 5-0. If you don't come out just absolutely gangbusters and banging teams around, it's probably over for the season. And we went to 3 straight finals. 3. You know what I mean? Like, how us as fans kind of feel about it, where we're like, you know what? All right, we went to 3 straight. Like, you can't go every year. Nobody can go every year, right? And so, that the players are human too. There's no way they have the same level of hunger that they did, you know, after Kachuk's dad called him soft, and then after losing to Vegas, and then after almost blowing it to Edmonton. Like, there's no way the level of fire is the same. It's just not humanly possible. So if we start off coming back from the break and they're still the same mediocre group, shut it down, shut everybody down. Let Cooper Black get some starts, see what you got there a little bit, and just start letting guys heal up and rest for next year. That would be my opinion. Shine says something I read said Benny was a healthy scratch, but who knows, right? So Jameson says Bennett has not been practicing with Team Canada. That means he's injured. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, David, good point. Says USA team so deep they won without the Chucky brothers doing much of anything. I guess they were never going to see the ice in overtime. I mean, I know they're not the speediest guys on the ice, but I mean, we won, so you can't question it, right? Not sure what the weekend schedule is going to be right now, Simon, other than the Olympic hockey. I know we're doing both games tomorrow. We're doing the rest of the games. So there's the 2 games tomorrow. There's the bronze medal game, and then there's the gold medal game. I know we're doing all of those games, and we'll take it from there. I'm also trying to give Kyle a little bit of time off here. I know he's going to go to Florida for his birthday, but he's been pretty exhausted too because of the weather. Scientist says if the Finnish coach is really going to go to Barkov for advice, they might have some tricks up their sleeves tomorrow. An upset could be possible. Yeah, don't discount Finland, which, by the way, I know it's not Finland, I know it's Sweden, but Markstrom played a hell of a game yesterday. He absolutely, when he's on, he's a tough cookie. He played a hell of a game yesterday. All right, fun fish. We'll see you. But yeah, there could definitely be some upsets. Now, let me see here. So what we have is, here we go. Here's the men's. So tomorrow we've got Canada, Finland at 10:40 in the morning, USA, Slovakia 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And then the bronze medal game is 2:40 in the afternoon on Saturday. And then the gold medal game is 8 o'clock in the morning Sunday. I don't know why they did that. I don't know why they did it that way. Like, I don't know what the local times there are that would make it so that they would insist on having the gold medal game at 8 o'clock in the morning here, as opposed to like USA games have all been at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I think all of them have been. But we'll be here for all of those games for sure. You would have been disappointed in the Finns if they lost to the Swiss. Almost, right? I think it was what, 2-0 Switzerland? Real says, what if Cooper Black wins just enough games for us to miss the playoffs and ruin the tank? You just have to put everybody on LTIR. Bennett, Marchand, LTIR, Forsling, Ekblad. You just have to put as many guys on LTIR and IR as possible, and you just bring up the checkers. You know what I mean? David says 8 a.m. is so stupid, but it means I get to watch before work. 8 a.m. is either 2 or 3 p.m. in Italy. Interesting. Kenneth says, should Florida fall off? Do I plan on streaming all the Panther games to the end, or are you going to start streaming playoff race games as playoffs approach? So that's a good question. Now, we're doing every Panther game, that's for sure. If there's playoff race games that aren't Panther related, if I'm going to do those, it might end up just being me by myself in here. Not sure if, because we do all the playoff games, so I'm not sure how Kyle would feel about doing extra games in the regular season that are playoff race games. But I could definitely do that. I'd be interested in doing that. So whether or not he'd be with me or not, but I would do it in here as opposed to downstairs on the couch and everything if Kyle wasn't going to be there. Great White. No, Kyle's going to do it. Kyle's going to do it. He'll be there. He thought we were only doing the USA game tomorrow. I'm like, no. We're doing both games tomorrow. You're off today. Oh, okay. So Jameson has the answer for us. The men's gold medal game is the final event of the Winter Olympics. The game is so early to leave enough time for closing ceremonies prep. They don't want those events to overlap. Thank you. That makes some sense. Okay. Helliebuck is ranked number 1 in the Olympics with a 9.58 and a 0.98. Damn. Oh, Michael, I didn't see that. Mikula left the game. I guess it would have been yesterday. I haven't seen that. Let me see. So this was 6 days ago, I'm seeing. But I'm not seeing anything updated now. I'm not seeing anything updated now, so hopefully that means he's okay. Mike, you getting hyped for the women's game today against Canada? Yeah, hopefully. Even my brother texted me. I would have done it, but I gotta get to the doctors this afternoon. I made the appointment while I was on vacation. It's because I knew today there was no men's hockey, so that was my opportunity. Just for reference, Bennington is 6 with a 9.22 and a 1.65. Still pretty damn good numbers, right? Yeah, the USA Sweden game was, you just kind of knew, right? Like, I was worried about the overtime. That was my biggest concern. Like, one shot, one little flub of a puck that the goalie makes, and it's over. So, but they pulled it off. Slovakia's goalie, Kyle and I were trying to figure out how to say it. 932 and 267. That's not bad. Yeah, Markstrom was great. Is Tarasov coming back? I haven't heard anything about Tarasov. We haven't heard anything about anything really. Yeah, there's been no update. I haven't seen it. There's nothing other than 2 weeks ago. I haven't seen anything or heard anything. Davis says, honestly, if Hedman plays, I'm not sure we win that game. Yeah, him getting hurt in the warm-ups. Guys get hurt, you know what I mean? As we know from last year. So we'll just have to find a way to make it work once these guys come back. So I don't know. I'm not feeling considering everybody basically is still playing. Nobody's getting much of a rest, and Bennett and Marchand are still kind of dinged a little bit. I don't know. I think we're going to know pretty early when these guys come back, when the Panthers come back, whether or not they're going to be able to make things happen. Now, the only thing is that if Pittsburgh were to fall off, if Crosby was to be injured, right? Now they've got 70 points. Panthers have, so we're 9 points out. I mean, if the Penguins were to fall off drastically, if Crosby was out, that could cause them a problem and maybe give an opening for one of the teams. But I mean, there's no way around it. We hit the Olympic break in last place in the division. Like, it's just, and the worst goal differential in the division. Like, we are where we are. And it's going to take all sorts of miracles for anything different to happen. Simon, I didn't really notice much of a difference with the surface, maybe a little bit more snow. I will tell you what I did like, or what I have been liking, is the lack of the digital ads along the boards. That's been nice to not have to deal with. It makes it a lot easier to watch the game. Scientist says apparently they'll be practicing this weekend, so we should be getting some updates soon. Okay, that's good. Yeah, I mean, we wouldn't have been able to do anything even if we needed a goalie and Tarasov was out for the rest of the year with the roster freeze. We wouldn't have been able to do anything anyway. But apparently, isn't the rumor that we're going to trade Bobrovsky to Edmonton there? Yeah, Canada probably had their one bad game. Yeah, that's one of the things that I was thinking yesterday was kind of along those lines while we were watching the end of that game, was that Canada now might step up their level of play because now they realize they're not completely invincible, right? Real says favorite player on Team USA that isn't Kachuk. I'm gonna not necessarily say he's been my favorite player, but I gave Trocheck a lot of shit for making the team, and he's been good. Yeah. I will admit that I was wrong there. I wasn't pleased with him. His numbers haven't been good at all, but he's looked pretty good. I wonder if part of the reason why he's looked pretty good is he would like to make himself attractive to a team that is fighting for a playoff spot so he can get the hell out of New York. I wonder if that's part of his motivation for looking so. He's looked good. Kenneth says, Jaws, if the Pens fall off, that doesn't help us. There's still 5 Atlantic teams in. It helps Washington and Columbus for the 3rd spot in the Metro. Well, in the sense of the wild card, it could, if it's what I mean, Kenneth, is so if Pittsburgh was to fall off, I mean, the Panthers would still have to have some kind of crazy, right? Some kind of craziness there. But let's say the Penguins just tanked if Crosby was out, which I don't think he's going to be. But like if the Penguins were out and then say the Jackets took that 3rd spot, or you know what I mean, then that's actually kind of in a way 2 teams that were no longer fighting for the wild card because the Penguins would be gone and the Jackets would take that spot. That's kind of how I'm looking at it anyways, just on numbers. But it's going to be irrelevant if they don't come back and just win practically. I mean, you got to start off 4-5-0, right? Cats come back, they play the Leafs and then the Sabres back-to-back. And if Tarasov is not ready to go, like, who's the goalie? Who's the goalie? Are you going to play Bobrovsky back-to-back against the Leafs and the Sabres? You might see that because it's going to be that important, and Bob will have had a rest. Scientists, I like watching Eichel. He's a good 2-way forward. I'll agree with you there. Yeah, Miller hasn't sucked either. Trent likes Quinn Hughes, right? Great White. Yeah. Bob to the Oilers. You still worried about Hellebuyck? Well, I don't want to praise him because you know what happens when I praise guys. But I'd rather him than Swayman. That's for sure. Absolutely for sure. So Kenneth says you need to pass one of the 5 teams in the Atlantic to make the playoffs either way. So let me see what you're probably right. I mean, I see what you're saying. Right. Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, we have to pass some teams regardless. Right. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. It's going to be a mess. I mean, hell, even Toronto's, a possibility there. Maybe the Wings will choke it up. The Wings are a possibility to choke it up. Or we might just end up tanking, right? Mike says if there's any team that can make a run at the end of a season, it's definitely the Panthers. Vincent says if not, they lost it in October. Yeah, there was definitely some games some points for sure that, we've only got what? Freaking 3 overtime losses, right? I mean, the Leafs have 9. If the Panthers had 9 overtime losses like the Leafs, we'd have 67 points and we'd be 2 points out of a playoff spot and nobody would be questioning whether or not they could make it. It's a lot of those games, like Vincent's saying, early in the season where instead of getting the point, getting to overtime, we blew those games. David says, Cooper said Sid will still play in these Olympics, but he's also a lying POS, so he can't really believe anything he says. Well, he was supposed to, Crosby's supposed to get an MRI today, right? I believe that's what I heard. Craig says just take 3rd place in the division. How in the hell? What are we? We're 11 points out of 3rd. Oh, but we have a game in hand. It's ours now. We'll see. Look, the Red Wings, Sabres, especially those 2 teams, they're going to have to prove that they can play that style of hockey. because it's going to be blood sport out there now. Trent thinks we have no chance, which I understand. Oh, yeah, Gudis played well. No doubt. No doubt Gudis was playing well. Simon, I don't really think we're going to do much of anything at the trade deadline. Unless we have an emergency and we need a backup goalie. Because I'm not so sure if Cooper Black, I think his numbers have been okay. He's right now. Oh, where's it? No, I don't want this. Let's see. Let's get to the checkers here and look at Black's numbers. So Black this year has a 2.45 and a 9.05. Okay. With 3 shutouts. So, I mean, those are good numbers, right? He's not tearing it up by any stretch of the imagination, but they're good, solid numbers. At some point, a guy is going to need to be brought up. So I don't know. But other than that, in terms of the trade deadline, Vincent. In terms of anything at the trade deadline, I don't know. The Sharks I'm not saying we're going to go get Skinner. Where do you guys think Skinner's going to go? He cleared waivers, right? I saw that as I was getting on the plane. Yeah, so he cleared waivers. Yeah. Which is interesting. Not that I think we would need them. Kenneth says the Panthers aren't looking to get over the hump and looking for that key player. No point in trading just to get dealt the shitty hand this year. Yeah, there's no if we can't make the playoffs with the guys we have, there's no one player that's going to make it so that we suddenly won the cup. At this point, if we traded Mackey for McDavid, I'm not even sure that with the way that the team is injured, if that would make it so that we could win the cup. Guys are gassed, you know what I mean? So it's certainly going to be interesting as long as the Leafs don't make it. If the Panthers don't make it, okay. But we can't have Toronto come from behind and make it as well, which we're going to have a say-so there because the first game we play, when we come back, where the hell is it? The first game we play on next Thursday are the Leafs, and then Friday is Buffalo. Right off the bat, you have to win both of those games in regulation. End of discussion. There's no, well, maybe if Sands, no. We play Toronto, we play Buffalo at home after the Olympic break. If you don't win both of those games in regulation, good night. The party's over. You just cannot padiddle around with either one of those games. So I think we'll know pretty early on. David says, yeah, much pessimism here with a lot of trolls too. I tend to look more on the positive side. Even if we don't win this year, I still believe we will because it's just because of injuries when we get healthy. No, I agree with you. Now, whether or not it would be Bobrovsky that would win again, I don't know. We certainly do need to get to a point here where Bob it's 42-42. We need another situation like when Stolarz was with us. Let me see. How many games did he play? Because I don't want to make up something if it wasn't true. Not as much. He actually was only it felt like he was here for longer, but it was just the 1 year. 27 games is all he played. That's all he played. Boy, 203 and 925. What a beautiful year that was. Now, what we need now is a guy that's going to take some games off for Bob. And I believe Stolars could have been that guy that year. His first year or last year with Toronto, he 34 games, 214, 926. Now, obviously, this year he has struggled with the injuries. I'm not sure what that situation. I don't know if it's the concussion related stuff or what, but we definitely need to have a secondary option in net. Trent says, I'm sorry, I don't think Black will be that guy for us during our window. I mean, I'm not going to agree or disagree because I understand, like, he's 25 now, right? He's 25. That's interesting. His birthday is the same as Donna's daughter. I mean, his numbers, he's not played a ton, right? This is his first season where he's playing a lot more. I mean, he's going to have to get a chance, right? At some point, you need to bring him up and just see, because some guys actually get a little bit better at the NHL level, or that's where it finally all comes together for him. Just look at Bussy. We've talked about that for a couple of times here. When you look back at Bussy's numbers, I mean, he's 27, and this is his first NHL experience, right? The rest of the time, the last several years, he was playing for Providence, 277 and 907, 267 and 913. Those numbers are very similar to what Cooper Black has right now. None of the numbers that he had in the AHL, he's pretty much kept his save percentage about the same at 908, right? But, he's playing on Carolina, so they've got a good, strong defense. Goals against the 216. Like, it's just the right situation. Now, the way that the Panthers defense is right now, I'm not necessarily feeling all that confident about whoever we're going to put out in net. It may just be a situation where we just got to drag our ass to the end of the season and rest. Kenny says you don't give him a chance right now when else is a good time. Well, that's true. I would say, though, that when the team is playing well and at full strength, if Bob was to get injured, right, and he gave Black some games, but I mean, that's being nitpicky. I understand your point. You know what I mean? It's hard to judge. Like, if we decided to put everybody on LTIR and tank, and then threw Black out there, like, I'd be fine with it. But then at the same point, if we're allowing 5 breakaways a game, it might not be the best atmosphere for the kids' first games. David says, how many times have you heard hardcore fans here say, who is that this year? No, it's not been the Panthers all year. I agree there. Gray White says, would I put the future in Black or Tarasov for our backup? Right now, I'm not so sure that the future goaltender of this team is on the roster or in the system. We did what we needed to do with Spencer Knight, and they won us another cup. So, you win some, you lose some. It's a tough spot because you only have so many years left with these guys at the core. and you need the goalie now, and if Bob has fallen off at all, there's not a lot out there unless you turn into Carolina where you get lucky where we had to waive Bussy. Now, the interesting decision there is that, waiving Bussy instead of Tarasov, I think Tarasov might have cleared. But Bussy had no NHL experience. So, Carolina got us just like we got them with Forsling. That was you win some, you lose some, right? Yeah, Trent says I'll look at the Minnesota Wild. Yeah. So we've talked about him. Wallstead. We talked about him last week. So let's see. 6'3", 214. So not the biggest guy, 23, but big enough, obviously. I'm comparing him to Cooper Black. 272 and a 914, right? Let me see his AHL numbers going back a couple of years. Playing for the Iowa Wild. Not great. So last year for the Iowa Wild, he was a 3.59 and an 8.79. The previous year, 2.70 and a 9.10. So that's interesting. Those are wildly different. The year before, 2.68 and 9.08. So last year looks like it might have just been an aberration to how well he plays. He looked, and so now, what was his contract? I think that's what we were looking at. Hey, Kyle. Let's see. He's going to be an RFA, right? Oh no, he still has a contract. So, like, it doesn't even expire until the end of next season. He's got a $2.2 million cap hit. It's a one way, so he's not, you get him, you got him. That's going to be expensive because that's not even a free agent. So Trent, what are people thinking in terms of why Minnesota would give up on him? I think somebody said they already liked the other goalie, but I don't know. Can't have too many goalies. Real says I'll take Forsling 2 cups and kicking their ass twice in the playoffs over a goalie. There you go, Real. Yeah. Vincent says that was all lucky. Kochetkov got injured and Bussy waived on the same day. Damn. Yeah. Trent says if the Canes don't make the cup this year with Panthers banged up, I don't think their core ever will. No, they're going to run into Tampa, probably. Oh, I'm going to have a video on that, Simon, to answer that question. So I don't want to give away that answer right now. I'm going to have a video on that over the course of the weekend. Yeah, the kid from Slovakia is a wild prospect too. Yeah, no, he's played well as well. Dave says, maybe I'm delusional. Heck, probably, but this team gets healthy. I'm okay with Bob and Tarasov. Guy's been playing great, in my humble opinion. We just don't score for him. I'm not ready to throw Bob off the bus. I would just like to have, I don't know, man. Like the dude is 37. Next year is going to be 38. Like, do you only want to, have Bob as the only viable option to win a cup again with this core? Like, if we had Spencer Knight, then I would have felt better. Tarasov has been good, but his rebound control in the playoffs would probably hurt. But it's hard to say. It's hard to say. Hey, look, if we roll with Bob and we don't win, it's not like there's somebody out there that you're really going to be saying, "Hey, we would have won if we had so and so." So you may as well roll with Bobrovsky. Um, but at the same point, like getting somebody like Wallstedt and adding him back to the roster, you know, wouldn't hurt, right? Vincent, yeah, I already know who makes. Yeah, they tell me 2 months in advance, Vincent, so I can plan my content. They let me know. They let me know. Hey, Great White. Yeah, so it's funny, Great White. She missed us. The reaction that she gave to both of us was different. She was very, very loving and all over Donna, and she was excited to see me and but I think she was mad at me. I think she was mad at me for not taking her. She was she was she did all right. She did okay. Kyle would sit down there and watch movies and they'd cuddle on the couch and all of that. And I guess Kyle put the bed downstairs but she spent a lot of time on our bedroom or on our bed in the bedroom. But I think she was mad at me for leaving. I think yeah, I think so, Great White. Like she'd be kissing mommy, 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 and then she'd come to me and she'd and just look at me like, you bastard. She was she was pissed. Yeah, she didn't poop in my shoes. No, no. I'm gonna get her a harness, and I'm gonna once we warm up here in the next few weeks, I'm gonna start trying to get her to the river and try to get back into a little bit of a groove that I had with the three dogs. See if she'll come along with me to the beach and going fishing and stuff like that. And obviously I'll film it, put it on the fishing channel probably, but try to get her out of the house a little bit more. Me out of the house. There was another comment here. Oh, Vincent says Bob looks fine and will play till 41-42. Anyway, losing Bob will be the end of the window, believe you. I don't necessarily, my heart kind of agrees with you. I would just like to have a backup that we felt comfortable with, that if something should happen to Bobrovsky, that it's not like, oh, season's over. You know what I mean? I would have liked, it's a shame Tarasov got hurt. He needs to work on the rebound control because so much of playoff hockey is played around the net like that. He needs to work on which is the same problem that I think Stolars came to us with, the same problem about the rebound control. David says, I really believe Tarasov is going to improve and be a top-notch number one in a couple of years. Only the rebounds hurt, but he's elite everywhere else. Yeah, if he can work on that, I agree with you. David says, on a completely different note, please pay attention to how key face-off wins are these Olympics, and then realize Sasha is our best guy there too. His loss cannot be overstated. No doubt. No doubt. Like last night, I was complaining, what did they do when they sent Trocheck out there for to start overtime off? And then he won the draw. So, yeah, I gave Trocheck a bunch of shit. I just don't want to make any trades for Trocheck. You know what I mean? That time is come and gone. But if he could find himself a spot on a team somewhere, well, then good for him. You know? Simon asking about if I have any Pacific team. Do I? Not really. Not really, Simon. I mean, the Leaf games are going to be something, you know. Vincent says, is Barkov playing against Toronto or not? No. No, we wouldn't. We couldn't do it anyway. Like, even if he was back, you'd have to trade. Like, we would have to trade guys in the couple of days leading up to the game for Barkov to even come back. No, I think there's a possibility that the people that just want to Barkov to just rest and take the year off might get their way. Is what it is. We'll know early on. And, believe me, as much as we're sitting here saying Panthers have to win those first two games to even have a chance, believe me, Toronto and Buffalo know that if they beat us in regulation in those games, it's pretty much the nails in the coffin. Like, if we come out and lose those first two games, it's done. Mike, yeah, he is out for that. But Vincent seems to think that the Panthers could bring him back sooner. He's been kind of alluding to that all year. I think mainly because he'd like to have a reason to trade Mackey away. I'm kidding. Anyway, says it was a bad time for Tarasov to get hurt. Yeah, it was. I don't know what we're going, but we don't know, right? It's interesting how we haven't had any kind of update at all, but I guess none was coming until they got the players back together again. I mean, we never even heard like, we expect him to be okay for the start, after the break. Like, we never heard anything. Vincent says at this point you're making a choice who you want on the ice, Barkov or Erod. If he's ready to play, he'll play. I mean, you'd have to trade him. You'd have to trade Rodriguez. You know what I mean? But we've talked about that. I mean, there's any number of different combinations of situations that, and I guess maybe not though. Now, if I don't know the math, Vincent, but if, let's say, Bennett or Marchand, let's say Marchand been fighting this injury, right? Would if you brought back Barkov and put Marchand on LTIR until the playoffs, would that be enough cap space? I'd have to look at it. You follow what I'm saying? Would that be enough cap space to keep Rodriguez? Barkov back, Marchand on LTIR, but keeping Rodriguez in to take Marchand's spot. Like, I wonder if that would be enough. And I'd have to think about that, because you'd hate to throw Rodriguez away if you didn't have to. Does Anaheim play Pittsburgh again this year? Let me see. Let's see. Ducks. No, they do not. So Gudis will not get. There will be no revenge. Nope. They do go on the road. They play the Knights, the Mammoth, and the Avalanche, but no Anaheim, no Quackers. So nope. Gudis gets off scot-free there. Trent says, I listened to 560 QAM a couple days ago, and it sounds like Tarasov is out long-term, according to George Richards. Oh, all right. That's not good. Vincent, yeah, Marchand, because remember, he sat last year when we first got him. So I wonder, I'll look at that later. Not that I think Barkov is ready to come back, but you never know. You never know. But we'll have to see. Now if Tarasov is out long term, Is Black going to be the guy, or are we going to go get somebody? Like, let me see something. The free agent goalies, and then I got to get ready to go because I got this doctor's appointment. Is there anybody out there cheap that's going to be a free agent next year? What about getting Vanacek back? Utah is probably, they're fighting for their lives for a playoff spot, so they're not going to do that. Let's see, a team that's kind of out of it. Urson is available. He's going to be a UFA. Hey, what if we got Quick from the Rangers just for the rest of the regular season? What do you think about that if the Rangers wanted to sell us Quick? We could have the oldest goalie tandem in the history of the NHL. Is Markstrom? Oh, let's get Dustin Wolf from Calgary. They would hang up the phone. Is Markstrom going to be a free agent next year? Markstrom played well, but I don't think he's going to be a free agent next year. Not from what I'm seeing. Yeah, let's go get Quick from the Rangers. That way it's just quick and easy. Ha 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 ha. I didn't even mean to do that. Vincent says, can Quick score some goals? Because that's what we need. I mean, that's true. But we physically are going to need a backup. I think we have 5 back-to-backs. We got 25 games left. We got 5 back-to-backs. Like, we need a goalie. Right? I don't know. Maybe they'll just call up Cooper Black. I guess we're fixing it. If he's out long term, I guess we're going to have to find out. Who else? Real quick here. Let's see. Like some of you guys have said, well, Pittsburgh's not going to get rid of Skinner because they're in a playoff race. Let me see who else. Who's not in a playoff race? Like I said, Urson's available. Guys that are free agents next year. Picard. You guys want Pickard? But I don't know about that. The Islanders are in the playoff race. There's so many teams that just like trying to see anybody else. Schmidt in Vegas, but they're probably not looking to give up anybody. Shelov's in Pittsburgh. Hey, Reimer, but he plays for Ottawa. They need him. Well, if Ottawa decides they're out, we could go get Reimer. Right? That's an option. No, I appreciate that, David. Yeah, I gotta run. I gotta get out of here. Okay, so good luck to the U.S. women's hockey team today. I gotta hit to the doctors. I should be back to see the end of the game. I hope. Maybe. I don't know. As long as they don't kill me at the doctors. Hey, thank you, Great White. I appreciate you, buddy. Thank you, bud. Much love, appreciation, man. We're going to be live for both games tomorrow, so there's no noon stream because Kyle and I are going to be doing both games tomorrow, and all the rest of the men's hockey games is what we're doing. So, all right, everybody. Thank you again. Much appreciation. Thank you all. Great White. Love you, brother. Appreciate you, man. Keeping the lights on. And Comrie from the Jets. That's another good name, Craig. Yeah. So, all right, everybody. We will see you mañana. If I die, Kyle will still be there to do the stream. If they kill me at the doctors, Kyle will still do the streams. So we'll see you tomorrow.